Blood Harvest is a 1987 American slasher movie, directed by Bill Rebane, and features Tiny Tim, famous for his falsetto ukulele song Tiptoe Through the Tulips, in his first dramatic film role. Our story starts with Jill Robinson, who has returned to her hometown to meet her parents. Unfortunately, they are nowhere to be found, and she quickly discovers that there's a very good reason for this. Her father has been foreclosing farms in the area, and to say the locals are a bit pissed off about it, is an understatement. Her house is covered in graffiti, bricks have been thrown through the windows, and she has been receiving prank calls of an unsavory nature. And if that's not bad enough, her ex-boyfriend's creepy slack-jawed brother Mervo, who likes to dress up as a clown, has taken a bit of a shine to her, which is the last thing she needs. The sheriff couldn't give two shits about her missing parents, and the townspeople aren't exactly a kind bunch either. Thankfully, Jill is still on good terms with her ex-boyfriend Gary, who is more than happy to help her out with anything she needs. But Gary has ulterior motives, and has plans to try and woo Jill back whilst he still has the chance. Unfortunately for Gary, Jill now has a fiancé out of town, and isn't exactly pleased as punch when he finds out about it. Poor old Gary. The poor lad has had a bit of a shit time recently, what with the death of his parents and his brother walking around in a loopy clown costume. He really was hoping to win Jill back, but hey, shit happens, mate. Meanwhile, Gary's brother, who likes to be called the Marvelous Mervo, is not doing too great either. He is trying to find some happiness in his life after the death of his parents and losing his farm, all thanks to Jill's bastard banker father, and has resorted to prayer in an attempt to turn his frown upside down. One night, when Jill is taking a shower, her hot water is turned off by a mysterious figure, and immediately afterwards, who should turn up but creepy old Mervo in his disturbing clown get-up. She quickly gets rid of the unwanted git, and hopes for a peaceful evening, until later on a figure is seen on a swing in her garden. She phones the police, and what a bloody surprise, it's that Dick Mervo again, who was apparently keeping watch for any intruders. What is with this guy? Maybe now Jill can get some peace. Think again. When she is asleep, someone breaks into her bedroom, chloroforms her, ties her up, then takes some nudie photos of her. For God's sake, give the girl a break. The next day she gets a surprise visit from Scott, her fiancé, who after some hanky-panky, promises to have a word with the nonchalant sheriff about the weird shit that's been happening around the house. So there we have it. A woman home alone trying to piece together what has happened to her missing parents, her ex-boyfriend, who is trying to rekindle what was once a budding romance, despite the love of his life clearly moving on without him, and Mervo, a creepy wannabe clown, who is desperate to bring meaning back to his existence after his whole life has gone downhill. Will Jill manage to keep her clothes on long enough to work out the whereabouts of her absent parents? Will Gary be able to convince her to stick around long enough so she falls back in love with him? And what's the deal with Mervo just popping up out of nowhere? He's such a pervy bastard. Blood Harvest, as the name suggests, is a gory horror drama that deals with themes of obsession and redemption, with a whodunit mystery thrown in for good measure. The acting leaves a lot to be desired, especially from Itonia Saloshek, whose good looks don't hide her inability to have convincing conversations with literally any of the other cast. If, like me, you watched this movie because of Tiny Tim, you might be disappointed by his limited appearances, and though some critics claimed he was slumming it by even being in this film, others appreciated his eccentric performance and astonishing vocal range. However, he just doesn't really add anything to this movie, which is a shame, as all the tension happens without him. There are some genuinely scary scenes in Blood Harvest, especially if you wince at throats getting slit, but once you get about halfway in, you can pretty much predict exactly where the film is going. For the most part, I enjoyed this movie, but I wouldn't recommend you to get out of your seat right now and find a copy of it straight away. By 1987, the slasher genre was so overly saturated that this one pales into insignificance. So what did you make of Blood Harvest? Did it have you singing at the top of your lungs? Or were you praying for the damn thing to end? Let me know in the comments below, and if you liked the video, why not give it a thumbs up, or subscribe if you want to see more reviews like this one. I've been HB, the Horror Bot. Cheers babes.